What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the only in Battlefield moments, as the devs so often refer to them as, and why I think they're so important, as well as why I think they're going to be more than ever before in Battlefield 2042. It's a common part of the Battlefield community to talk about or even showcase these only in Battlefield moments. They are to many people what makes this game and the franchise as a whole so great, and to me personally, these are one of the clearest and most prominent features of the Battlefield franchise that clearly put it a tier above the other realistic shooter franchises out there. For those who are unaware of what exactly an only in Battlefield moment is, these are essentially just moments throughout the game where epic chaotic scenes unfold, whether that be a plane crashing into the ground right in front of you, bursting into flames and tumbling across the battlefield, a building collapsing nearby that completely changes the layout of that section of the map, or something as unrealistic as the classic render zook that we saw in the reveal trailer, which for those who are unaware, that is actually inspired by a real clip from Battlefield 3, so that kind of just proves how crazy some of these moments have been in the past. For me personally, the game that stands out the most in this area is without a doubt Battlefield 4, the sheer amount of Levolution in that game, which is a term used to pretty much explain the map evolving and changing shape during the course of a game. It's just completely unmatched in any first person shooter that I've ever played, and the game is around 7 years old at this point, so the fact that it's been out for so long and yet is still unrivaled in terms of destruction, that kind of says quite a lot about the game. 7 years on, I still remember all of those moments so vividly compared to pretty much any other game that I've played. I remember the first time I saw the skyscraper collapse on Siege of Shanghai. I remember the first time I saw the boat come crashing into the shore on Parasol Storm, and those are really the moments that make Battlefield 4 such an amazing game and cause it to really stand out above the rest of the games in the franchise, and especially above every other game in the FPS genre overall. There's then Battlefield 1, which had its own fair share of epic moments as well. Most memorable of all is seeing that airship go down for the first time. I genuinely remember it like it was yesterday. I think to me that might be the most impressive out of any single moment in the history of the Battlefield franchise, because when you look at the Battlefield 4 Evolution, it was absolutely stunning, yet it was on tracks. It was pretty much identical each and every time. The airship going down in Battlefield 1 is unique in that way though, as it actually lands in a different place every time, and it does add a very unique feel to the map for the remainder of the game, and the fact that it is really just a free-falling vessel that crashes down anywhere on the map where it's been shot down, that is arguably the most impressive thing I've ever seen in a multiplayer game in my life. Now, Battlefield 5 was definitely not quite as abundant with these moments compared to some of the older titles, as the Levolution and just overall destruction of the game seemed to take a step backwards in a way, but even then there are still so many moments that happen regularly in Battlefield 5 that you'd still define as an only in Battlefield moment, taking out tanks with a boomstick, planes crashing to the ground, or doing close strafing runs, and who could forget the beloved V1 rockets. Now anyway, the reason I bring this topic up is because from everything that we've seen so far in regards to Battlefield 2042, it seems like it's taking some of those moments from Battlefield 4, injecting them with a large dose of steroids and sending them straight to our consoles or our PCs for us to play over the next few years, and I could not be more excited for it. There are countless things that we saw in both trailers that hint towards so many more of these moments happening in Battlefield 2042, most notably the tornado, as that is obviously going to create so many of these completely unscripted and just absolutely chaotic moments throughout the game. But even things like the rocket launch on Orbital, the ship door falling down on Discarded, the Damavan Peak-esque base jump from the top of Breakaway, there were just so many things in those trailers that give me a lot of hope for plenty of these moments to come. One thing that I noticed in the aftermath of both trailers when I went around to my favourite channels and watched all of their reactions and opinions on what we saw was that every single one of them were just so excited by all of those moments. The tornado, the quad bike jumping off the building into the chopper, the render zook moment, those were all what stood out so much when you see the reaction on everyone's faces, and I just think that shows how important those moments are to the franchise. Any franchise out there like Call of Duty, Rainbow Six, Valorant or Counter-Strike, they can all make really great shooters that play smoothly and they're fun to play, but there is no other shooter out there that can have these moments on such a regular basis, and I think for all the die-hard fans of the franchise, that'd have to be the thing that we all want more than anything else from the game. Every Battlefield game can have great gunplay, all of them can have pretty looking maps and large player counts and all that kind of thing, but at the end of the day, if they don't have those crazy moments that they used to like in Battlefield 3 and 4, then they almost don't feel like a Battlefield game. They just feel like a very good first-person shooter from any other developer. If they can get back to having those only in Battlefield moments being a staple of the franchise once again, then I really do think that will kind of restore the franchise to where it should be. After Battlefield 5, it obviously has had a very quiet and very uneventful year or so, and that should never really be the trend for any video game, as they should always be improving and being even better than the last one, and for some reason that just feels even more important in this game than it ever has before. Like I said, from everything that we've seen in the trailers, I really do feel like this game is headed in the right direction when it comes to that core Battlefield experience that we all had during the Battlefield 3 and 4 days, where it's just that true sandbox experience that the devs always talk about. The setting is a huge part of that, the scale is a huge part of that, and I think the fact that the devs have focused on these moments so much in the trailers clearly shows that they know just how important it is to nail this aspect of the game. That is going to do it for this one though, guys. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to leave a like down below, and if you are new, then consider subscribing to the channel with those notifications on. Thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there on the battlefield.